I saw a lot of designers creating a lot of portfolios, and you can go to Behance or Dribbble on online, and then you can find like a bunch of those. Half of them are unfortunately made up portfolios. Like there is no real client, there is no real business, but it's just a designer who produced the screens. So I always tell to people that you need to know why you are creating that portfolio. Like who is it for? Like, is it for you to document your work? You want to have like a document where you can look back, as we were talking yesterday, there's something what you can check back, like how your learning was progressing. Is it something like this? Or is it for an application? You want to showcase your work, but if yes, so if it is for your future employer, let's say you are a designer and you want to get a job, and like you are not yet a designer, but you are about to get into the design business, and you are preparing your portfolio, and you think that this is super important, so you will put an effort, but you don't know who is the target audience. It's the same as with every application what you are building. If you don't know to whom you are building, it will be super difficult. The one key thing I think what a lot of people is forgetting, that even though if you prepare it for a person who will read it, do you think he will have so much time for so many applications to read so much text? Like that's one thing, but people need to take in consideration. Like people don't have time to read so many applications, so many details in the portfolio. So you need to be super visual. That's one thing what is always helping, that you are on the point. And then, for example, in my case, nobody ever opened in my company my portfolio. That was my resume, and they wanted to see my thinking, so they invited me for a test to perform. And as they were performing the test, they were role playing. Somebody was a business, somebody was the stakeholder of the business, and then somebody was a client, and somebody was, I don't know, a coder. So with this role play, you needed to show your skills, how you would solve a real situation. Because they don't trust, like a lot of people lost trust in portfolios, you can copy together and you can Google like how many portfolio creation apps are, even apps, like there is a platform which is helping you to create a design portfolio. So just keep in mind that if you do that, then it's important to know the company to whom you will send it, because it's the portfolio. I mean, it's good to have always a set of work what is representing you. So you need to decide what you want to do. That's also when I said it needs to be short. The second one, I think that the key point is that it needs to represent the work what you do and you want to do. So for example, if you want to do research and you put a lot of visual design in the portfolio, that might not represent correctly you, that it's not what you want to do. You want to do research, so it should capture the research part of the design process. So that's one another aspect. But sometimes some people do the work mostly and they want to move to other type of work. So for example, I want to move to visual design from research, then it totally makes sense to showcase the work what you did for visual design. Now, once again, I would try to research somehow, because internet is there. So you could go to the company where you are applying and see who is in the design team through LinkedIn, through the homepage of the company, but you can figure out who are the people and try to see, or even talk to them, or even ask them, like what kind of people they are looking for, because sometimes they don't even open the portfolio. It depends on the team. If you are the first designer and some kind of manager from a business background will open your portfolio, he will have no clue what to look for, if you are the first designer in the company. But for example, if you will be hired in the company where there are a team of designers and all of them will have a look, So they already have in their mind like what kind of job they want you to do in the team. So if it is something what you want to strongly represent, the job what you want to do, then you can do that by capturing it really abstractly, really briefly. And they usually don't really care about the end result. They care about where you started, what was the problem, how was the learning curve, like what you learned and how you learned, and then what was the end result. You know, like if I just put the end screen, like here is it, then it's showing like, okay, you can build screens really nice. Even if I ask my girlfriend and then she opens the sketch and then I put an under screen next to it, now copy, then she can do that. But how you, based on what research or what insight led you to that outcome? And then also like how you handle the situation in the corporation, like what was the approach when you were trying to convince stakeholders. So like a lot of these details, it once again depends. If you are applying for a big corporate, then you will need a strong stakeholder management skill, stakeholder management, and also just pure communication presentation, because there is a lot still going on. If you're in a small company, it's more about how quickly you can work with different materials and different information. So I think if somebody is asking always these two questions, like who is it for and what is it for, you know, like who is it for, who is the target audience whom I want to send my portfolio. If I don't know, how can I know that target audience, what they need and what I need, what I want to show to them? Because it's not good. A lot of people say, I just adjust your portfolio per company, you know, like if they look for researcher, just put more research. I'm like, wow, but that's not, I mean, you want to do some sort of work, right? So it's, if they look for somebody who is researching and you are not willing to do that work, why you want to sell yourself as a researcher? So sometimes it's not a match, you know, like sometimes they search for somebody else, but that's fine. At least you know that you are not belonging there.